Let's start with something that might completely change the way you think about selling. What actually makes people buy? Because most people believe it's the product itself, the features, the design, the price. And logically, that seems correct. If something is better, it should sell more. But in reality, that's not what drives decisions. Not consistently. A product can have great features, beautiful design, and a competitive price, and still not sell. And at the same time, a simpler product with fewer features can outperform everything else. So, what's the difference? The reason behind the purchase. Because every time someone buys something, they're not buying the object itself. They're buying what it represents, what it gives them, what it changes for them. And this is the shift that changes everything. Once you understand that, your entire approach changes. Because now you stop selling the product and you start selling the reason. The reason why someone wants it, the outcome it creates, the transformation it provides. Features are forgettable. People don't remember them. They don't feel them. But outcomes are emotional. They're visual. They're meaningful. So instead of saying, "This product has these features," you say, "This is what your life looks like after." And that's what people connect with. That's what they imagine. That's what they want. So from now on, every time you think about your product, ask yourself one question. What is the real reason someone would want this? Let's make this very real with a simple example. Imagine you're selling an English course. The obvious message would be, learn English. Clear, but weak, because it doesn't create emotion. It doesn't create urgency. It doesn't create desire. Now let's shift it. Instead of selling the course, you sell the opportunity. Better jobs, more income, global confidence, higher status. Now it feels different. Now it matters. Now it connects. Because the person is no longer thinking, do I want to learn English? They're thinking, do I want a better life? And that's a completely different decision. That's what moves people. That's what drives action. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Because most of the time, people don't tell you the real reason they buy. They give logical answers, safe answers, socially acceptable answers. Things like, I want to learn something new. I want to improve. I want to be more productive. But underneath that, there's something deeper, something emotional, something real. Fear of failure, desire for status, need for control, emotional relief. These are the real drivers, the hidden layer. And this is critical, because if you only speak to the surface, your message feels weak, generic, forgettable. But when you speak to what they actually feel, your message hits differently. It connects. It resonates. And that's when people start paying attention. Now, even though people have many motivations, most buying decisions can be traced back to 5 core drivers. 5 fundamental reasons why people say yes. First, make money. Second, save money. Third, save time. Fourth, avoid effort. And fifth, avoid pain. Every product, every service, every offer connects to at least one of these. And the stronger that connection is, the easier the decision becomes. So instead of thinking, what features should I highlight? You start thinking, which of these drivers am I activating? Let's start with the first two, make money and save money. These are among the strongest motivators because money represents freedom, security, control. When someone believes that your product can help them earn more or keep more of what they already have, the value becomes very clear, very direct, very tangible. For example, you're not selling an AI tool. You're selling a way to generate income faster, a way to reduce costs, a way to gain financial control. And that shift makes your message much stronger. The next two drivers are just as powerful, saving time and avoiding effort. Because people don't just want results, they want results faster and with less effort. No one wakes up thinking, I want the longest, hardest path possible. They want shortcuts. They want simplicity. They want efficiency. And this is where your positioning matters. You're not just offering a solution. You're offering an easier way, a simpler process, less work, more output. And when you communicate that clearly, your product becomes much more attractive. Because now, it's not just useful, it's convenient. Now we come to one of the most powerful drivers, and often the most underestimated. Avoiding pain. Because here's the truth. People are often more motivated to remove something negative than to gain something positive. Avoiding pain is stronger than pursuing pleasure. And this shows up everywhere. People don't just want to improve, they want relief. Relief from stress, from confusion, from frustration. They want to feel lighter, calmer, more in control. And when your message reflects that, it becomes very powerful. Because now, you're not just offering something new, you're removing something that hurts. So instead of saying, learn how to build a digital business, you can say, stop feeling stuck and overwhelmed and finally have a clear path to follow. That hits differently because it connects to a real feeling. Now, beyond the core drivers, there are additional motivations that make your message even stronger. These are what we can call secondary drivers. Comfort, health, recognition, love, and status. These might not always be the main reason, but they amplify the decision. For example, someone buys a fitness program not only to lose weight, but to feel more confident, to be seen differently, to receive compliments. Someone builds a business not only for money, but for freedom, respect, and identity. And here's something very important. Status is present in almost all of them. We all want to improve how we see ourselves and how others see us. And when your message reflects that, it becomes much more compelling. Now, let's bring everything together. Here's the strategy that changes everything. You don't rely on one reason. You stack multiple reasons, because one reason creates interest, but multiple reasons create certainty. Think about it this way. If your product helps someone make money, save time, and reduce stress, that's 3 powerful drivers working together. And that makes the decision easier. It's like anchoring your message from different angles, each one reinforcing the other. And this is exactly what your deck shows. One anchor is not enough, but multiple anchors make the structure stable, the same way a tent needs multiple points to stay in place. Your offer becomes stronger, more convincing, harder to ignore. So from now on, when you create content, when you write your message, when you present your product, don't just ask, what am I selling? Ask, how many strong reasons am I giving someone to say yes? Because the more reasons you give, the harder it becomes to say no. I'll see you in the next lesson.